He personally took $1.8 billion in dividends from OnlyFans. Radvinsky pledged $11 million to AIPAC after October 7th, one of the organizations that just spent $32 million to unseat Thomas Massey. Young women are basically unknowingly funding our own political demise. Jeffrey Epstein, who trafficked young American women and used them to blackmail American politicians to control American foreign policy. American women exploited, American democracy corrupted, and the same group of people seem to benefit.
We're at commodification, death, and exploitation. This horrific cycle.
I've been thinking about this Massey election and thinking about just elections in general and election funding. And I saw a video earlier this week. It kind of tied all of it together. I'm not going to play it because I think there's copyrighted material in it. And I hate even dealing with YouTube. But obviously, OnlyFans. You guys obviously know what that is. I'm sure you shuddered at me even mentioning the word. But that platform obviously makes billions of dollars and takes 20% cut from young women, mostly Western women, selling explicit content of themselves online. The majority owner, before he passed away, was a man named Leonid Radvinsky, a Ukrainian-American Jew. He died in March, suddenly at 43. He was worth $4.7 billion when he died. He personally took $1.8 billion in dividends from OnlyFans, according to internal documents from The Lever. Radvinsky pledged $11 million to AIPAC after October 7th, making it the single largest contribution on the list. Afterwards, he tried to hide it, naming himself Mr. Anonymous, but they were able to trace it back to him through wire transfers anyway. When confronted, he denied it, but he couldn't explain why his name was in the wire transfers. So why I'm like thinking of this, it's like, we're inundated with just disgusting content, and young American women are being encouraged through social media, shows like Euphoria on HBO. I don't know if you probably haven't heard of the show because you are luckily in Russia. There's a show.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Oh, you've heard of it. Okay. So there's a show on HBO for our viewers who who don't give their hard-earned money to HBO. There's a show called Euphoria. It's based on an Israeli show. Obviously, it's produced by Israelis and Ukrainians in Hollywood. But they produce it, and Euphoria is based this season. It's basically about young girls coming of age, being horrendously degenerate teenage girls. And this season is about one girl's journey to become an OnlyFans star. And it paints it in this insanely normal light. It's like fetish work and all kinds of degrading stuff. So young American women are being encouraged through social media and shows like Euphoria and influencer campaigns like that. I won't even say their names, to sell their bodies online. And then that money goes to AIPAC, one of the organizations that just spent $32 million to unseat Thomas Massey. So just thinking about like how sick that cycle is, where like our young women are basically unknowingly funding our own political demise. It's wild.
It is wild. It is wild.
And then you draw a parallel immediately to, because of course I'm doom and gloom, immediately to Jeffrey Epstein, who trafficked young American women and used them to blackmail American politicians to control American foreign policy. So Radvinsky exploits young American women through the screen, not an island, and he used the profits to fund the lobby. Different method, same result. American women exploited, American democracy corrupted, and the same group of people seem to benefit. And we are the people who lose.
Think about it this way. So of the same power structure, one group mass kills women and children. Mm-hmm. Gaza, in Iran, in Lebanon, in places like that. Now in Starobilsk, in the Lugansk People's Republic. One of the same power structure, another faction traffics women, exploits them, rapes them, and another group then has them feel, quote unquote, empowered by selling themselves. But in all cases, the same the same powerful structure, ruling class, elite, Epstein class, they are the ones benefiting from it. They murder, they traffic, they do all sorts of abuse and harm, and they sell it in different packages. One group are terrorists and subhumans. The other group are evil and worthy of punishment, and the other group are empowered and should be cherished and celebrated for their quote unquote feminism and their women's empowerment and leaning in and taking advantage of their beautiful bodies to then sell it and commodify it. That's where we're at. We're at commodification, death, and exploitation. This horrific cycle.
Thomas Massey was on Meet the Press today. Pretty decent interview, short if you guys have a chance to watch it. But I do have a clip here juxtaposed with some of the sort of AIPAC lobby sponsored propaganda.
That's how much they've bamboozled the people here in Kentucky. They used artificial intelligence to create a video, lifelike video, that showed me checking into a hotel room with AOC and Ilhan Omar and holding hands with them. It was actually very effective on the boomers. But here's the thing, Kristen, that's only going to work for a little bit longer. The boomers are going to, leave this country to the Gen X and the Gen Z and the Gen Y and the millennials, and those folks are the ones that I won overwhelmingly. That makes me really hopeful for this country. They don't get fooled by artificial intelligence, and they check the news. They get news sources like from podcasts and other sources. So they won this race by fooling my voters and expanding the base of people who vote to the uninformed voters. But look, I got 45% of the vote.
Boomers believe that. What is with this weird, like, sexual undertone of, like, at Thomas Massey? Well, not even undertone, it's an overtone, while they're committing, like, the most disgusting sexual degeneracy behind closed doors and profiting off of it. It's just wild.
But can we speak up? Like, you have this kind of AI slop, Thomas Massey in a throuple or whatever. You have Rabbi Shmuley when his daughter selling all these kind of kosher sex products. You have them raping Palestinians using dogs and objects and sticks and the most horrific things. And you have them wearing lingerie in Gaza and Lebanon and things that, what is going on?
What is going on?
I don't see Russian soldiers acting in this way in liberated territories.
No, I've never seen them put on anybody's clothes.
I never saw Iranian soldiers do this. When I fought in Syria, none of us ever did something like this. What is going on? That's what I want to know.
It's disquieting, to say the least. It's grotesque. This type of stuff makes me incredibly uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable even talking about Euphoria. That's how much of a prude I am. But I'm like, this is like undeniable. I have a really big issue with OnlyFans and that sort of culture that surrounds it. So this being utilized to then feed into our elections and then kind of manipulate the things that we report on. It's just, I guess it's more par for the course.